I want to jump right in this. I want to ask you, this album was recorded all over the place, or written all over the place, is what I gathered out of it. Was it on the road? Were you traveling? Was it just, were the songs written as the inspiration hit you?
Yeah, so basically, I write a lot of songs because I also write for other artists. And then sometimes it happens to be a song that's for me. It's not always the intention to make a song for my album, but sometimes I'm just writing, and during the process of writing a song, I'm like, hey, this is a me song rather than anybody else. So, and that happens anywhere. I was here when I started working on my album, and then I was in LA when I started working on new songs for the album. I even picked a couple of songs that were intended to be for someone else.
When
I can't.
When the songs,
I think you got stuck with.
You got frozen?
Are we frozen? Am I frozen?
You were for a second, and now you're catching up, so your mouth is going.
That's just the drugs, dude. That's just the drugs. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Well, when you said some of the songs were written for others, when you would see, I write for other artists too, and sometimes I'll take a song where I'll be like, you know what, I'm taking that one back for me. What was the criteria? What led to you doing that when you were going to pull a song back?
Well, one of the songs that I wrote was on hold for an artist for so long that I thought, I like this song so much, and it would be a waste if this artist is not going to pick up on this song, or they're not going to release it eventually. I want it to be out in the world regardless. So I'm just going to release it myself. Plus, I co-wrote that song as well with somebody else who was, who also liked the artist that had the song on hold. But he said, like, dude, your performance on it is so amazing. I just want you to release it as well. You release the song. I don't want to hear a different version of it. Just release it. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy because that's actually one of my favorite songs in the album as well. It's called Where You Are.
Oh, it's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
I mean this. I wanted to do this interview because I love your voice, and also because you've had a hand in a lot of just killers of hits.
A song, Never Give Up on the album, is such a bubbly marimba type kind of feel song, and it's so small and it's so like almost underproduced to a professional level, I would say, but I wouldn't say underproduced, but I just kept everything simple in that song. And then, Where Do You Hide Your Love is explosive and high vocals and low vocals and everything, and dancing in the video. So even though to me, I think I can do that, it doesn't mean that other people will be like, what the hell? This is a totally different style, because I don't know, but a lot of people seem to like it, as a whole as well, so I'm happy for that. And then another kind of anxiety that I have about, releasing stuff is, basically when you write stuff for other artists who are already developed or have a certain style that is already developed, sometimes you see numbers that are huge. I wrote a song for this DJ group called Cheat Codes, and they did a collab with Kris Kross Amsterdam back here in Amsterdam. That song was called Sex, and it blew up. It had I think it has 500 million streams on it.
It's insane.
On Spotify, and it blew up. Yeah, it was amazing. But as a writer, I have to. The writer and the artist isn't the same thing, but sometimes you get caught up in thinking, even if you have a couple thousand streams or a couple 100,000 streams or a couple million streams, it doesn't live up to that sensation you got when you had a song that you wrote for somebody else that blew up massively. And that gives you kind of anxiety, but I have to accept for myself, it's not the same thing, and you're doing what you love. And, of course there's an easy route to just make super corny pop songs and to just go to labels that are like, yes, that's a hit. But, I just want to release my stuff and what I feel. And that's just a longer route, so to speak. So I learned to accept that as well.
I think that couldn't have been said more eloquently. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Because, as an artist myself, that is the trick, is those little insecurities that are probably to anyone else seem silly, but conquering those little things is the difference between releasing something you can be proud of and releasing something that you're just trying to get out. How has, I'm curious because I'm on Universal, how has the label been in supporting you with this? Good?
Well, to be fair, I'm not with Universal as a label, just as a distributor.
Oh, great. So it's just
Yeah, so I have the full, which is actually my choice as well, for not stepping to labels who want a certain specific thing from me, is that I want to have full creative control over my project. So, but Universal has the option to upstream one of my songs, or whichever song they like. They have an option to be, hey, we want to push that song as a label as well. They have that option. But, you know, to have full creative control over all your songs, sometimes labels aren't the best choice to go with, because they want specific things and I want specific things. And those specific things that they want is not the reason I went into becoming an artist as well. Right. You know, because I'm already a songwriter. Those specific things that people ask, I already do for other artists. Right. So I wouldn't want to do that for myself. So, you know, that's part of the reason that I'm not signed to a major label yet. You know, I would love to. If they would come in and be like, hey, we love all your stuff and let's just keep you in the creative control of everything and just, we'll push it, great, of course. But step one is just to release my stuff. Right.
Well, step one looks great. Can I ask you, I'm interested in where you recorded it at, because these recordings are beautiful. They really are nice record. I bet the wave files just look fat and juicy in each track. You know, that's my vision. But where did you record these things at?
Honestly, so I bought the gear. Amazing gear. A classic 2-Tech CL1B compressor.
Nice.
A classic Neve 1073 preamp on my vocal. Those two things are already, doesn't matter in which studio you are, if, you know, as long as it's acoustically treated, that will already sound great. But then on top of that, there's a guy, and he's also in LA, he actually lives quite near. But he's a mixing engineer, and he's just, I don't know what is wrong with him, or actually what is right with him, but he has this weird, and no offense if he sees or hears this, but autism, that he can hear it, and he can make it better. Even if it's already good, he can just make it better. I lost the song once as well, and I sent him the song. He recreated all the parts just by listening to the song. That's how good his ear is.
Wow.
And so that's my mixing engineer.
That's your Igor.
So step one is having good gear, and then step two is great mixing engineer who just has a perfect set of ears.
And did you record it just wherever you were? Was it or did you actually have a studio set in mind?
Yeah. So when I last year I was still living back in Amsterdam at the beginning of last year, and I recorded most of my stuff there. And then at some point I moved to LA. But with the same gear, I brought it to LA. So, and I built a studio in my garage, and it's actually quite similar to the studio I already had. So the recordings are exactly the same because the setup is the same, but it's two different countries.
You know, this is hilarious. I lived in Holland. I lived in Amsterdam for a while, and I pulled my gear from LA to Studio Seasick in Haarlem outside of Amsterdam and recorded for 6 months. I like it that you've left LA to go back to. One of these days, I want to record a song with you and call it like Hot Fadama or something like that. Like, let's just. God damn. I have to say, this entire discussion with you has been refreshing and it's been awesome. I mean it, man. I maybe make rock and roll myself, but I listen to the beautiful music of the world. You are one of the beautiful voices in the world right now, man, and I mean that sincerely. And I'm greatly encouraged by this album you released, because, you know, sometimes we listen to music and we're like, wow, this is what's going to be coming in the future. Fuck, what am I doing here? But when I hear stuff like you, and I even hear how humble you are and how sincere you're speaking about this, it's really refreshing and it's incredibly encouraging and inspiring, man. I hope you know that what you're doing so far is beautiful and we love you for it.
Thank you so much, and I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, I'm gonna continue, you know, sending you stuff. I'm gonna send you some demos as well. I want to hear.
I want to hear them, and I'm going to send you some stuff. And you're invited to any one of my shows ever. I mean this. I'm such a huge. When I get done with this, I'm calling my mom to go. It was awesome, Mom. This was great. We talked. So I'm serious. I'm serious, dude. So.
Oh my God. Well, this. I mean, I'm just as psyched as you are because this. I barely have like, such fun interviews and such. Meaningful interviews. I mean, all interviews are meaningful to some degree, but I guess that we just kind of connect on a...
Well, it's an artist thing, and my best friend Joshua Hami, I called him and I'm like, dude, I'm going to be doing this interview, and he's like, wait, you get to do interviews when you're locked down and I have to come stay with my guy? I was like, yeah, that's how it works, buddy. But when do you think you're coming back to LA?
I don't know, because there's still a travel ban. I've been trying to come back for 2 months, but
oh my God,
this travel ban is just, I don't know.
I have a friend at the State Department. I will make a call. I do have a friend in the after Paris. I made some friends when it comes to travel. Let me see what I'll throw a phone call in there for you, my friend. It wouldn't hurt, right?
I love that.
And then when you come here, I live in Atwater Village, so I'm right by Griffith Park.
Oh, cool.
And
I'm in Studio City.
Oh, I love, dude. I know. When you get back here, I'm gonna host a barbecue for you.
Oh, for sure. Oh, amazing.
That's a promise, my friend. I'll make this call to my friend at the State Department, and then through the publicist, I'll get back in touch with you. Okay?
For sure. Okay. Thank you so much,
buddy. I hope this interview was as good for you as it was for me. I actually got all of the points for the story. I always say stay free, don't stay safe. Safe is for suckers, so stay free. And I'll be good. I'll call you soon, brother.